I've got my good friend, Dr. Christopher Motley here. And actually, Dr. Chris and I have enjoyed doing a sauna session in here together. It's a great thing to do with friends, family members. And so we're going to ask each other some questions. Dr. Chris, I got the first question here for you. What is your recommended infrared sauna protocol for the patients you work with?
I really, and you and I both agree about bioindividuality, that each person is different. But normally with most patients that come in, I usually recommend a 40-minute session, maybe 4 to 5 days a week. Some people like extend a full week, but I don't let them go too far because of its strength and power. But that's the normal rate that I usually use, though.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think as Dr. Chris mentioned, you really need to listen to your body. When we have people start off, we typically have them start off with maybe 10 or 20 minutes and then work their way up to about that 40-minute mark. And starting off with, again, what your body can handle. I think about like Chelsea after she gave birth. This is something she did, just for 10 minutes at a time. So she didn't want to get her body too hot, but she wanted to get some of the infrared heat to help her recovery, getting more blood flow circulation. I think about a month after pregnancy, she started getting in to help her circulation. And so again, really depends on your needs. I know a lot of people with hypothyroidism who need, or people that have colder body temperatures, we try and get them in more early on to kind of continue to warm up their bodies. So we both know there are many, many benefits of using infrared sauna. One of the things I know you and I both feel passionate about in teaching people about cellular medicine and longevity, how does infrared sauna use contribute to longevity and decreased mortality? I
think that the longevity question is really important to both of us. I love that you're talking even more about cellular energy and how it's produced. I think that the importance of the infrared is how much it actually improves your detoxification. It helps with heart health. It helps with your sleep. It actually has been shown to help with your circadian rhythm. Wow. All of the things to actually improve the energy of the cell walls. And when you look at infrared research, it's showing that if it makes the cell walls healthier, then you'll actually assimilate all your nutrients better, and it's actually showing people have higher amounts of longevity, more years on their life through research. Yeah. There's some great research out of Europe and other countries too, showing longevity benefits, and so agreed. It's just incredible. Okay, so I have a question for you. How can red light therapy, in addition to infrared, help with your longevity and your cellular health? There's some great research on infrared and near infrared light. And one of the studies I was looking at recently was on mitochondrial health. And so increasing your mitochondria pretty dramatically in the studies. And so one of the things that I love about infrared light is that it can penetrate fairly deeply into your cells and tissues. And so what that's going to do as well is support ATP production by the cells. And we know that this is critical for anti-aging. It's critical for organ function. It's critical for adrenal health. But generally, again, one of the things I love about infrared is there's so much great research behind how it supports cellular health, mitochondrial health, and also supports circulation within the body to promote longevity. I love that. And with the red light therapy involved, we love to talk about nutrition as well. What's in addition to red light therapy, does it take a big role in the strength of the infrared, that it makes it even more improved? I think there's actually a pretty strong correlation. I don't know that there are studies in this, but if you look at traditional Chinese medicine and some other theories around, eating certain foods and then promoting the circulation of those compounds within your body. So one of the great things is, and we know this nutritionally, one of the things that people often do with an herb like turmeric is they will add black pepper to it. In fact, one of the oldest Ayurvedic recipes is for turmeric golden tea or turmeric golden milk. So they're blending coconut milk along with typically black pepper, ginger, and turmeric, and those warming spices help circulate the curcumin, which is in the turmeric, throughout the body. Wow. Well, that's one of the great benefits of infrared light and infrared sauna, is when you eat certain foods with beneficial compounds, it can help promote the circulation of those compounds and get them out to more cells, tissues, and organs, helping you heal. And so I really encourage people to get more really nutrient-dense foods, more berries, and also certain fruits like pomegranates and figs, kiwis, that have anti-inflammatory benefits, detoxifying benefits, but also a lot of those dark black, blue, purple colors as well of berries.
and the figs and pomegranates, which are going to help longevity. I also think getting some good omega-3 fatty acids via things like wild salmon, getting some collagen in, and then doing more vegetables. In addition to that, doing lots of herbs and spices, doing ginger, doing cinnamon, doing rosemary, doing turmeric, getting some of these anti-inflammatory compounds in our body and allowing the infrared heat to sort of penetrate, improve circulation, getting more of those nutrients and beneficial compounds out to our cells and tissues.
So there's such a huge correlation about how you can use your nutrition to actually enhance what we're doing here.
Yeah.
And when we're talking about like mitochondrial health, with the red light, has there been, in your experience, and you've seen it with red light, infrared, how much it improves energy production? I know we talked about nutrition, but does it overall boost the energy production of the cells?
Yeah, you know, the group of patients I've probably recommended infrared to the most are people with thyroid conditions, whether it be Hashimoto's thyroiditis, hypothyroidism. And across the board, I've heard a lot of them say, this has helped my energy. I had a patient with Lyme disease recently as well. And so I've heard a lot of people saying this is helpful. And again, so many people have their body temperature it's too low, and that's really impacting their body negatively. In fact, so many women, because they were on drugs like birth control or antibiotic drugs, that caused hypothyroidism.
Wow.
And so one of the greatest things they can do is warm up their body. Infrared light is incredible for that. But yeah, I absolutely believe the infrared light and heat has lots of energy benefits. In fact, my wife, Chelsea, one of the reasons has to do with sleep. You know, my wife had said that she notices that she sleeps the best after getting infrared light. Now, whether that be an infrared light panel or an infrared light sauna, but she says she knows a really big difference in sleeping better and waking up feeling more refreshed. And so that's another critical part. So not only does the infrared light help support cellular energy production and ATP, but also indirectly by getting better sleep at night, you're also going to have better energy production as well and have more, just, you know, generally more energy throughout the day.
And I just love the effect of how light wavelength that we can see and we can't see can affect every aspect of our body, you know? So you are the doc that has been known for all things nutrition, about gut health. Does the infrared affect your cravings? Does it have an effect on your cravings and your digestion?
Yeah, you know, well, one of the things that you're aware of, because you've studied so much Chinese medicine, is the importance of keeping your digestive system warm. You know, that is talked about over and over and over again. There's a condition called spleen deficiency, which I know you're well aware of, which is basically if somebody is not absorbing nutrients well, if they also might have any sort of digestive imbalance, can be bloating, gas, loose stool, those sort of issues, that typically is correlated with that spleen qi deficiency. And one of the things that all ancient medicine practitioners want you to do is warm up your digestive system. Well, this is one of the best ways to do it, is warming up your digestion, warming yourself internally and supporting that system. And so, you know, as somebody who is focused a lot on helping people heal leaky gut syndrome and inflammatory bowel disease and a lot of these gut issues that are also related to the brain and other areas of the body, this is one of the top things I've recommended patients do, because warming the system via infrared light has just numerous benefits for improving circulation, improving digestive health. And so absolutely, I think this is a great form of treatment, especially when combined with some of the dietary recommendations we mentioned earlier, getting more collagen in via things like bone broth, doing more soups, doing more cooked vegetables, you know, is going to be tremendous for, you know, helping the body in that way.
Yeah, one of the greatest things that we both see, like within spleen and stomach deficiency, and you mentioned it in a podcast I listened to recently about the spleen deficiency in our culture, and you're talking about, you know, mindset and about how the spleen and stomach can be affected, and that using like infrared could actually help the stomach qi and the spleen qi, and actually can help your mood as well. So that's awesome stuff.
Yeah, you know, and one of the things too, just for everybody, you know, watching and listening to this, is that when we talk about spleen qi deficiency in Chinese medicine, it's actually not just the spleen. It's really, they also couple the pancreas in there. So it's really the health of, and really the health of your entire digestive system, specifically your upper GI, focusing on the stomach and pancreas primarily, with the spleen there as well, for anybody who is interested in knowing some of those facts there.
So we're getting red light. You're not only getting the sauna, you're getting like your Chinese medicine, you know, body healing at the same time. So this is great news and great information. So with the digestion piece, I know that we're talking about how it can affect the actual warmth inside the body. Have you ever experience with your patient, talking about thyroid, have they ever detoxed like infections and stuff while they've been in the infrared? Have you ever seen things like that?
Well, I think that, listen, when I feel like I'm coming down with a cold or flu,
Yep.
the very first thing I do is go turn the sauna on and get in. I mean, really, it's one of the first things. Same thing if Chelsea doesn't feel well. My mother-in-law was over here earlier. She's like, I'm starting to sniffle a little bit. I'm like, she knows. She's like, I'm getting in the sauna. So it is the very first thing we do, along with, and the other thing we'll do is we have these whole concoctions of supplements with apple cider vinegar and garlic and oregano oil and other things we take too here in the Axe household. But it really is one of the first things we do. We know that in order to kill infections, one of the things our own bodies do is it raises its temperature, right? Our body starts creating, beneficial compounds like interferon and other, biochemicals that are going to then go and help kill the infection. But, there's a doctor I know over in Europe and Spain, and he'll treat numerous conditions, but especially viral infections and Lyme and a number of pathogenic infections with doing really, really, consistent infrared heat over time. So I do think there's a lot of benefits for the immune system. And in fact, there is a study showing that, if you're doing infrared sauna regularly, your cold and flu time go down and your chance of getting it go down. So there are scientific studies proving the benefits of infrared sauna for fighting infections. And what are your thoughts on that? Because I really think of you as one of these, as one of the world's leading experts when it comes to how to treat different types of infections, whether that be mold or parasitic or Lyme or viral. What do you see there?
I completely agree. When you go into the sauna, one of the things I was reading about infrared was how like infections, when a virus gets in your body, they say that or bacteria literally creates like a magnetic or basically a frequency-based bond with the tissue. And one of the benefits of infrared is that the wavelength literally goes into the body and will detach or interfere with that quote like magnetic attachment of the infections into the tissue. So when you take your herbs, you're getting that chemical, biochemical, phytochemical response. But with infrared, you're actually also like literally chopping the connection. And I was reading this thinking like that I didn't know that infections could actually bind to you through like their own frequencies to your tissue, which is really interesting to me, like, because this is like a big frequency box, Yeah,
it's amazing. And was really powerful, if anyone has studied a lot of these ancient practitioners, the infrared therapy in a way goes all the way back to Hippocrates. And here's what I mean is that what you're getting with some of these rays, these are some very similar rays that the sun gives off. And so Hippocrates, who's known for saying, let food be thy medicine, and also famous for saying all disease begins in the gut. He also, one of his top recommendations for his patients was sunbathing. So if they were sick, not feeling well, he would have them lay in the sun for a long period of time. He didn't want them to get burnt, but up into the point to where they would not get burnt, and then he would essentially harness those healing rays from the sun, which is part of the benefits here of infrared sauna. In that way, it's a similar medical philosophy.
Because you're like affecting with infrared, you're not only affecting your structure, you're affecting your biochemistry, you're affecting your digestion, you're basically affecting your immune system too. So that is a really interesting fact and points. So when we're in here, you're covering all grounds with the body, basically.
It is. It's pretty incredible how vast the benefits are of doing infrared sauna.
So switching gears here, how would one person choose which model or what type to get for them?
Yeah, well, one thing I always do is I do a lot of research when I buy saunas. And I do this with everything. In fact, Chelsea, sometimes, like my wife is like, how many months are you going to research something before you buy it? And this is with literally everything in my life. If I'm buying a pair of shoes, if I'm buying a bike or a bicycle, anything, she's like, okay, just, pull the trigger and buy something here. And she also criticized me for being just so picky. Like Christmas gifts, people were like, do not get, Josh, he's going to be. So all that being said, there's a few things I look for. One is the type of waves and how strong the waves are, and looking that it has far infrared, medium infrared, near infrared. So making sure it has all of those different forms of infrared light. The other thing is I love cedar. I think there's additional benefits of the type of wood you're using. So again, a very high level wood like you have in this Sunlighten Sauna. And so I look for, again, the rays, and the reason why I chose Sunlighten is that from what I looked at the clinical research, I mean, they had some of the absolute best science behind using it, their infrared light. The other thing is they've been around for so many years. I don't know the exact, maybe 40, 50 years, a long, long time. In fact, my, one of our mutual friends, Jordan Rubin, I went to visit him. This was probably 12 years ago in West Palm Beach, Florida. And he had one of these saunas, and he said, I've had this for many, many years, and he gets it anytime him and his family aren't feeling well. So I had a trusted friend who had used it for many years. So I think one, just reputation, the brand's been around so long. I think the actual just power, reading the science behind how much the strength and potency and the diversity of the different type of lights coming out here. And in terms of size and model, we have friends over, I'll have you over, Chelsea and I will get in here together. And so being able to have multiple people in here. Now, one of the other things about this one is sometimes Chelsea and I like to work out even in the sauna. Now, when I say work out, I mean do stretching, do some maybe body weight exercises. And so it's not an intense HIIT training, anything like that, but we do some stretching and some movement in here, yoga or yoga-like movements in terms of trying to build core stability. So anyways, we wanted to get one big enough to sort of move in that way. However, I think some of the smaller ones can be better for if you're putting it inside your home, because if you need to save space. So that's a reason to get a smaller one. Or if you think, okay, it's only gonna be 1 or 2 people in here, maybe you get a 1-person model or a 2-person model. We opted for the big one because we may have at some point 4 people in here and sort of maxing it out. And we like to do some forms of movement in here as well. But I think for most people, they don't need to focus on doing anything but just sitting here, absorbing the red light, or if they want to do some light stretching, that can be beneficial as well. But that's, again, the biggest reasons why we chose this brand and model. Number one, Sunlighten has an incredible reputation. I've had so many people that I respect as peers who are scientists, who are doctors, friends like Jordan Rubin, who own the exact same sauna and have owned this for years. Again, the science behind these infrared, the power of these panels, and making sure that these are the top-end infrared light panels. Again, the wood grain, and then also looking at just, and then within the brand Sunlighten, which size is right for you. And they've got a lot of different models. That's something else I think that's appealing for a lot of people.
So we're going to see that each person has something for them. And that's one thing that I noticed too, is like when you get into a Sunlighten sauna, I mean, really you do feel the power, and it's the diversity of the ability for different saunas to be able to do different things with different wavelengths, different colors, and you're gonna see like it'll heat up like that. I mean, it's a little amazing, because at one time Josh said, hey, why don't you go and use the sauna? And I was like, well, I'll press it on, and I'm in. It was like hot in like a minute or two. And if anybody knows me, I just sweat. I'll glisten right off the bat. So it is quality product. I love the cedar too. So
I'll tell you what, I did a Q&A last year in the infrared sauna here. And you and I did one together too. That's right. So you and I also did I think on Instagram or YouTube. But after we did that post, I had so many friends texting me, hey, what brand do I buy for sauna? I mean, like my phone just kept going off of personal friends who were, it was getting around Christmas time, so everyone was looking at buying a sauna for their spouse or somebody for Christmas. And so,
this is like one of the products that you can buy for somebody, and it's like something that helps them feel good. It's healthy for them. They get pleasure from it. It's something that, and it's actually about self-care. So I think you're covering all grounds. Like you're actually helping all parts of the body, and you're covering all grounds as a gift or for yourself. Treat yourself.
It's not like if you, like there are some like no-nos in marriage. It's like, if you buy your spouse a treadmill or a piece of fitness equipment, you can get yourself in trouble. But you buy them an infrared sauna, it's pretty safe. It's pretty safe.
Oh, so that was advice to all the couples out there. I'm telling you, it's a good one.
I know I'm going to get this question. Hey, what model are you in now? And we are in the M-Pulse model, M-Pulse. And again, the reason we love this one is that it's large. You can fit a lot of people in it. It has all the bells and whistles. It's one of the highest end models in terms of having very, very strong heat panels. And so this is one of the reasons why we chose this one, is because we spend a lot of time and sometimes have, more than what several people in here at a time. And so we've loved this model. It's been great.
So let's round it out. Okay. So what if people out there are going to say like, it's too expensive or it's high price? What would you say to those individuals?
Well, I would say one, hey, that's understandable, of course. I've had times in my life where I wasn't able to, invest in certain types of therapies and supplements and health products. And so do your best to do the things that are free, like the sun. As I mentioned earlier, the sun is so powerful. You and I recorded a podcast recently talking about circadian rhythms. The sun helps reset your circadian rhythms. You are getting some of the benefits of that light there as well. So that's what I would say is get outside as much as you possibly can. Go on walks outside. That's one of the greatest things that people can do as well, in terms of if they can't afford an infrared sauna. What I'd say as well is, also maybe plan for it in the future. Maybe set up a budget and you start putting money away to where you can get it in several years from now, and you start saving towards it. Because I think that there are so many benefits here. And I love to be able to, again, if our family member, if somebody's not feeling well, like we've had friends over there say, I'm coming down with a colder flu. We're like, hey, stop on over. Why don't you get in our sauna? And inviting, other people over so they can experience the benefits as well. But I would say, again, if you're in that position, embrace the power of the sun as much as you possibly can to get some of the, the crossover and overlapping benefits.
That's great.
Hey everybody, I hope you've enjoyed this Q&A with myself and Dr. Chris Motley here. Also, we want to say thank you to Sunlighten for sponsoring this episode. They have been amazing friends, amazing partners. And the reason we partner with them is because they're the best in the industry. And I'm such a fan of their science and what they've been doing for years with putting out the best infrared saunas out there. And Sunlighten is being so incredibly generous. They're offering up to $600 off their infrared saunas when you use the code AXE, that's AXE, when you're checking out of their store. So go to sunlighten.com, pick your model, and then on checkout, make sure to put in the code AXE, AXE for $600 off until the end of the month. So again, hey, thanks so much for being part of this episode. I hope you've enjoyed this Q&A, and thanks again to Dr. Christopher Motley here. We're probably gonna shut the doors, get a good sauna session in here, get a sweat on, start boosting our immunity, detoxifying, supporting gut health, all the great things you can get with the power of infrared light and sauna use. So thanks so much everybody for watching. Hi Pretzel.
Hey Pretzel.
Hey Pretzel.
Pretzel.
Yep.
So switching gears here. Stop. Okay.
Relax, dude.
Relax. Okay, so you are the doc that knows all things nutrition and food.
Hold on
really?
a second. Okay.
Yes, come on. Let's do it. You ready? Okay.
Now I'm feeling these panels.
Me too. Okay. Here we go.
Are you feeling the heat off?
Oh yeah, I am.
I'm getting warm. I'm starting to sweat. We cut the door open here. I'm still feeling it. It's good. Man, you're healing right now.
I'm telling you, I am already sweating. I was thinking if they see the water here. All right. Okay.